So the next thing I'm going to do is assume that maybe something happened on the secondary side, so I'm going to unscrew a lamp, and now I shut the lamps down, and when the light on the controller starts to blink, that means that I will no longer have any voltage output from the controller. So right now, I am basically counting down on the voltage. It might take a few minutes for it to count down. Right now it's showing that I have still 81 volts there. So I kind of want to allow it to throttle itself down, but the voltage is depleting itself. But I'm going to unscrew all the lamps. Tracy is going to unscrew them on that side. And we don't have a screwdriver with us handy right now, but we're going to look in every lamp socket, and I see a little flake of something inside this one. I don't see any corrosion. I'm going to give the wires a nice little tug just to make sure that I'm not up against a loose wire connection. And I do that all the way down the whole sign. She's checking that half. The screws inside these lamp sockets seem to be very tight. There are 4 screws in each lamp socket. One of them is for the red wire, which is the positive, and basically that is a 1-screw connection to the bottom or center terminal of the lamp. That would most likely be, if there's a loose connection on that screw or that terminal for the lamp, that would actually be the biggest problem. The screw base or the outside of this lamp socket has 3 screws holding it, so to get a loose connection, you're 3 times more unlikely to have a connection problem on the actual screw base versus the center terminal. So I would just take a screwdriver and just check, some of the screws in here and make sure that they're tight. No corrosion, no water, just good looking lamp sockets. But
if there is any corrosion in the socket, should we just replace it, or should we try cleaning it out?
No. If you're in a real hurry to get off of the field because you're on a runway or you have limited access to it, then I would say maybe it is time to change the socket. They are screwed down. They take just a second or maybe a minute and a half to change a socket if there's only one. I would change it if I was in a hurry, or if it was too cold and the environment was not allowing me to spend good time and do it properly, I would change it. But other than that, I would just take a wire brush, clean it up a little bit, blow it out, and just make sure that it's nice and clean before I reapply a dielectric grease back into the lamp socket. One other note with the dielectric grease is you don't want to cake it in there. You want to apply a light layer of grease on all the terminals inside, and you do not want to cover the large open holes in the socket, because if any kind of moisture or water develops in the sign, we want it to be able to drain out. And if you clog those openings, you may not have a socket that's draining water, it's holding water, and you'll have a connection between the positive and negative in the lamp socket, and that could also short it out. As well as when we were looking at the screws, a lot of times what may happen is vibration in the field, and if there is a terminal that's loose and the sign is vibrating, it could also take a lamp out. The controller is very sophisticated when it is trying to sense the loss of a lamp. We are sensing a 17 to 21 milliamps of current in a lamp. So the slightest connection problem could actually allow our controller to see that drop in current and shut down the secondary on it. And it could happen from just vibration from planes, a lamp that is not very tight in the socket that has loosened over time. It could be a couple different things, but this sign looks very nice. I did not see any problems with any of these sockets, output voltage, or current in the system. It just can't figure it out right now.
Now, Dan, can we hit the reset button to energize all the sockets
Yes.
and show them how that it'll actually
Yeah, we
lamp
can,
by lamp in?
but we don't even need a lamp to turn it back on.
Right.
I forced it on as soon as I see the green LED light solid. That means I do have voltage, and I could check it at the terminal strip. I could check it at a socket. What we have here is parallel voltage going from anywhere from 1 or 2 to 12 lamps in a sign. So I have good voltage there. So what we're going to do is start putting lamps in, because
Does it matter where I start putting the lamps in at? Do I have to start at the end?
no, you just pick a location and start putting lamps in.
Okay.
Now, we could sit here and monitor the lamps for a while, because it seems like maybe there's a faulty lamp in the sign. And what I suggest for most maintenance departments is to, your extra components that you have, on hand to fix the signs, that's mandatory per the advisory circular, right? Just set one of those systems up inside the vault to your spare regulator, or where it could be monitored more frequently. But this sign, I didn't find anything wrong with it, so I am going to think that maybe one of these lamps, has a failure mode of, it runs for 2 hours, maybe one of them's getting hot, it's actually at an intermittent stage of burning out, getting too hot, shutting down. So if I have to come out here one more time, I am probably going to re-lamp this sign just to segregate the lamps being an issue in the sign. But we are going to screw these all back in, all the lamps. And like I said, if this sign shuts down on me one more time where it's a blinking light, then I will come out and re-lamp the sign. And I will set the lamps that I take out in the vault, and I will just run them where I can monitor them and see if the lamp actually, shows me that it is failing or in its failure mode. But other than that, there's nothing else to check on this except, good voltage output, good current input is actually going to give us good voltage at the terminal strip. So now what I put it on is AC volts. AC volts, just the last check. I'm going to check the power cord. I am running at about 12.5 volts AC, which that is actually within range of where the controller is supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with the components in this sign. It could be a location of the field, some type of pulse in the Airfield circuit. There could be multiple issues, but right now I'd say that the components are perfect. Lamps could be an issue, but I don't know that yet. So if I have to come out one more time, I will start by re-lamping the sign, and then I'll actually dig a little deeper and start to look at the isolation transformer and other
well, we now have a test switch located near the reset button, which is always in run. And if you do move it to the test position,
You want to show them over here?
it will, if you move it to the test position, it eliminates the one out, all out feature of the sign. Meaning regardless of if a lamp goes out, the sign will continue to run. Dave, can you unscrew one of the lamps out of your head?
Yeah. That looks like a good one.
This way we can find out if there are any lamps that are failing prematurely. You want to come out and check the sign regularly as you're driving by in the evenings. Stop, check, make sure you have any lamps out yet. Do it again each day. Once you figure out that there is a lamp out, take the lamp out, replace it with a brand new lamp. Go ahead and turn it back into the right position. Sign will go back into the regular 1 hour